Well, basically, I don't know exactly what the actual intention of this video is, but it's a commentary video. So welcome back to 2018.
You serious?
I just whipped up this video like a quick little treat for you to enjoy, if you even care, mainly just to speak my mind on this particular topic. Because for the last 3 years, I've essentially just kind of separated myself from reality, making all kinds of clickbait videos in order to get the most YouTube views off of this YouTube algorithm, but now it's time to just kind of go back to the roots. I wanted to just discuss on how the age of YouTubers is over. Are you still with me here? Okay. So, basically, in the before times, there was essentially just one way to go about doing something, like, for example, being a YouTuber, and that was through turning on your camera and recording yourself, and then putting it out there, as the name pertains to. This is what made this stand out, essentially, from the things like paid broadcasting, Netflix, because it is what separated the big bucks, the actual corporations, the actual people that have the money, with real people, the people who should have the most influence, because they actually are us. So that's why YouTube worked. And that's why the idea of it went so far. And I'll even go so far as to say that that is what made it the best idea to ever be made in the entire internet. And yes, even better than Bitcoin. Because when you turn on the TV, it's all about what people want to see being pushed to the top. Wrong. It's not that. It's only about what pays the most money to get there, or what makes the most money, for example. So, YouTube for all of these years was nothing but people running the entire thing. It was people at the top, people at the bottom, and all in the middle, it was just nothing but people. Because that is what made the website what it was. Now, of course, just having other things, like resources in order to expand yourself to make better videos is nothing inherently wrong. But things have evolved. They've evolved quite literally backwards. And that's because it has now come to the point where YouTube is literally just TV. The things at the very top are only the things that make the most money. When we talk about things like T-Series, for example, the controversy of T-Series existing and taking over the one biggest YouTuber and becoming the #1 channel, being the most hated thing instantly in the entire universe, because it was a company, the exact opposite of what represents YouTube. But there was nothing awry in the situation, it was just supply and demand. People wanted to watch T-Series. It wasn't actually subbots. Which is why it's just kind of peculiar how when Mr. Beast, for example, exists, being the exact same thing, a company with over 100 employees, it's almost like none of that ever even happened. And by no means am I trying to say that Mr. Beast is the same thing as T-Series. Of course it's not. Mr. Beast is a channel that intends to make videos to get the most views possible, whereas T-Series just intends to make music, get the most views possible. But ultimately, these two companies are valued at the exact same amount as of 2023. One has a faceless logo to it, and one has a face that goes with it, which is a quote-unquote YouTuber. In 2014 on YouTube, there was 90 out of the top 100 channels individual people. In 2023, out of the top 100 channels, there's 87 that are companies. And the top 20 channels are 100% companies, with the exception of good old Pewdie. If you want to be an individual influencer, if your dream was always to entertain people for a living, basically your only option now is TikTok or YouTube Shorts. If you wonder why YouTube's algorithm is shifted so much towards YouTube Shorts at this point, just in order to beat TikTok at the very thing that they invented, then you couldn't possibly be more unaware of the world that you live in. You can either have millions of dollars, or you can try to succeed by just keeping people's attention on the screen for about 30 seconds. You will never be able to stand a chance competing otherwise, because the very programming of these platforms are rigged against you. Videos like this are the result of this basically happening. The overall dumbing down of the entire world that we see on this internet that used to be so promising, used to be able to provide actual reach as a person to the world itself. Now, unless you feel like taking an oversaturated, watered down, copy and pasted style such as this, you will not make it. You might get table scraps, don't get me wrong. You can still get places. But this is what has constantly gotten on my nerves, especially as of recently. $10 million does not equal skill. Getting to the very top on your own does not equal luck. It goes both ways. But the one thing that is for sure, especially at least about YouTube in general, is that the only thing that's left is the one thing that it vowed to destroy. It is TV. Whatever makes the most money is what everyone sees. It's vapid, repetitive, and meaningless. It's basically just two segregated groups at this point. The huge corporations with hundreds of employees and millions of dollars who can afford to keep your attention on the screen and have their content be palatable enough to make the money for the platform, or the everyday peasants that can maybe do that for about 10 to 30 seconds in order to dumb down the average attention span of the kids that use the internet. Kinda like you and me. And I don't want it to seem like I'm giving flack to anyone. Because personally, there is nothing that I have against anything like Mr. Beast, or even T-Series, aside from the memes. I never gave a frick either way. So the age of YouTubers is over. And it's quite sad, because even when I had just first started this channel, it really wasn't like that. It truly felt invigorating to know that you could actually have a voice bigger than the companies and the celebrities and the politicians and the corporations and even the world leaders. But it's just no longer like that. It has just blended in with everything else. And we're once again back to square one. But I still hope that in the future, in the distance, that there is some way that we can get that back. But either way, if you really actually watched through this whole video, then I may have just proven myself wrong. You're actually not too far gone. My name is Dallas, aka Infurness, and essentially that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I'm not going to keep up any more of your time. Thanks for watching, and you'll see me in the next one.